Hello everyone, welcome to our new episode of the Growth Conversation podcast. My name is Lyndah and I'm here with my co-host Gabriel.
Yeah, we are so excited to be once again with you and to have this podcast. First things first, I want to thank you very much for subscribing on our channels. For those of us who have left us some comments, we really appreciate. Remember to like, remember also to share. It is said that those that are sharers of information are the people who broadcast the future, and therefore remember to watch but also remember to share. Yes.
Yeah, and we really thank those people who have subscribed and also downloaded our podcast on Spotify. And yes, you can also get them on Google Podcasts right now. So we are just thankful that that is a milestone. You can listen to us on Google Podcasts and all those podcast platforms, right? So today, our topic today is defining your identity. And I'll start by asking Gabriel to define the word identity according to how he knows.
Yeah, simply put, this topic is one of the most exciting topics.
Yes.
Because you can live through life and never know who you are.
Exactly.
So when we are talking about defining our identity, we are simply saying to know who we are.
Yeah.
We already are who we are, but we need to become aware of who we are. That's simply defining
your
our identity. Yes.
And I feel like defining your identity, first of all, you need to know who you are in God and knowing what God brought together to define or to put you as a person.
Yes.
Because we are all different. Even if you're twins, there is something that you do differently. So you are unique. Finding your unique self.
Uniqueness.
Exactly.
Your uniqueness.
That is knowing your identity.
Our identity.
Yeah.
So we can just to have this conversation, have a foundation is that we are human beings.
Yeah.
Come from God.
Yeah.
As you have heard, there are many creation stories, but the main story is that we come from somewhere.
Yeah.
From a superpower, and that superpower is God.
Yeah.
And we are made of two aspects. We have the body and we have the spirit.
Yeah.
And therefore, the body may look same to everyone, but our spirit and our mind differs.
Yeah.
And therefore, that's why we get different identities and different fingerprints.
Yeah.
Our view of things also differ.
True.
Although we come from the same source, our view of everything differs. And that is what differentiates me and you.
True.
So that is really the basis of this conversation.
Yeah, true. And I just want us to look at things that you can look at when you want to really know your identity. Right? So I wrote some 4 points and we can discuss them.
Yes.
And explain further.
Okay.
So the first one is that I wrote down is know your belief.
Know your beliefs.
For you to find out who you are, to find out your identity, know your beliefs.
So beliefs are what forms our philosophy of life. What is it that you believe in, and what is it that you do not believe in? You see, we can be both the same, coming from the same place, but we believe that one thing doesn't happen this way and the other person believes the same thing happens the other way.
Exactly.
That philosophy that we both carry defines us differently.
Yeah.
When we are faced with an equal circumstance, your view of the same differs. All right? So our belief system is contributed by our faith.
Yeah, true.
This is some of the things that contribute how we have been brought up, the things we were shown as correct, and the things we were told as wrong. These are the things that form our beliefs. And the things that we have seen succeeding and the things we have seen failing, we form a basic belief on such. So our belief system really is what defines you. And it can be shifted even though it's very hard to shift
It's very hard to shift.
Even though it's very hard to shift.
So for me, I think that your beliefs is very important, and it all starts with what you've been taught from the time you were born, right? So there are those people who believe in God, there are those who don't. Like we have different people who believe in different things. So for example, for me personally, I believe in God, and I know that's where my beliefs comes from. So identifying who you believe will help you identify how you can define your identity.
Yourself,
so for me, as a person who believes in God, as a person who is a person of faith, I believe that God created me for a purpose in life, and that's where my beliefs come from. So when I want to know my identity, I will go back to the Bible.
You'll go back to God.
Yeah, I'll go back to the Bible and read what God says about
you.
That will be the first step in identifying who I am.
The foundation of who you are.
And also believing God helps you to know your values, know your morals, so that you can know how you can identify yourself.
Yeah, talking about morals. Morals are also part of our belief system.
Exactly.
Yeah. What we believe as our moral values, our morals and values, forms part of our belief system.
Yeah.
You see? So maybe for both of us, we might have a situation like, for example, what is the easiest situation we can give, maybe just to share as an example? Our values.
Like for example, I can't go clubbing. Maybe.
Yeah, for example, you can go clubbing.
Yeah,
but someone else is very comfortable with clubbing. Actually, they do club every week.
Yeah, exactly.
So this forms a belief system. It doesn't mean necessarily they are doing wrong or she's doing right, but it is what they both believe in that defines who they are.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing that I wrote down is knowing your mission in life.
Oh, yeah. It is until you know your mission that you can really have a definition.
Yeah.
Because until you know the function, the mission is like the function. Yeah. The function. You see, every item we associate with function. Yeah. For example, if we take a phone, we know the purposes of a phone. Yeah. The mission of the phone is to make calls, to text messages, to browse the internet. Those are the core functions of a phone. Yeah. The same way for you as a person, you must identify that which is your mission in life.
Exactly.
That is part of what really defines you. And until you know it, then you are a lost person in the world. But once you know it, we are now able, even us, we can associate you with something. Yeah, true. We can always associate you with something.
Yeah, I can say that once you know your mission in life, and I'll give an example of me, because I gave an example of me being a Christian. So knowing my mission in life, it all starts with knowing your belief and identifying your beliefs, you know. So for me, being a Christian, I know my beliefs is in God, you know, and the word of God. Yeah. So me knowing my mission in life will require me to go back to God, to your belief and system, to my beliefs, and ask myself, what is the mission of my life in this world, you know? And for example, for me, the Bible tells me I am here for a specific purpose. Until I finish whatever God has brought me in this world to do, then I cannot go anywhere, you know? So that helps me in identifying my mission. And for example, for me, when I know that I'm a Christian and my mission in life is to accomplish a specific task or a purpose that God has set for me, then it will help me in setting my goals, having vision, having ambition, for me to start working on myself. Yeah.
Under that, I would also try maybe to comment about purpose. You see, purpose also defines you.
Yeah, exactly.
It is your greater goal. It's the vision for your life.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So the purpose that you have in life defines what kind of a person you are in life. All right. And one of the ways to find out your purpose is to identify your gifts. So also identifying your gifts also helps in identifying who you are. All right. True. So someone who is an athlete, we identify them from their gift of athleticism.
Exactly.
Okay, right. Someone who plays soccer, we identify them with their gift of playing. All right. So also identifying which part you are gifted at, your strengths and your weaknesses. Okay, let's talk about the strengths first, and the talents that you carry also helps in defining who you are.
So the main thing is asking yourself that question: why am I in this life? That is knowing your mission in life. Why am I in this life? That will really help you in identifying who you are, because now you start searching what is my purpose? what are my goals in life, you know.
What do I carry inside?
Yeah, when I wake up in the morning, what do I really want to achieve, right? And that would really, really help you in knowing who you are and finding your identity.
Absolutely.
So the other one that I wrote down is knowing your personality.
Oh, yes. Personality helps us in identifying who we are and how we relate, largely on how we relate, all right? So there are different kinds of personalities. We have melancholic people, we have sanguines. There are different kinds of personalities, and we have almost 16 kinds of personalities. But what differentiates us is the kind of personality you are attracts a specific kind of people.
Exactly.
All right. And then the kind of personality you are communicates to a certain group of people. All right. So this will help you understand why you find yourself with a certain group of people more, and why you are not happy with a certain group of people. Yeah.
For example,
For example, we talk about introverts and extroverts. Introverts find it hard to talk much. They are not as outgoing. But extroverts are opposite. And you'll find that extroverts enjoy much more with other extroverts because they click. They click. And introverts will find themselves closer to introverts because they also click. They want to be alone. They don't want a lot of talk and that kind of a thing. So for you also to know who you are, you must find which is your personality type.
What is my personality?
And how does it affect me? How does it make me behave? Why do I behave this way? So that at least any time you meet a different kind of a person with say maybe a different personality, you can be able to understand them and also relate with them. Also even communicating with them, because we find that, for example, if I'm an introvert, if you come with your extrovertness and try to push me so hard, then we will obviously collide. But if you would understand what kind of a person I am, it becomes easy to now connect with me.
And just to make it simpler, for you to first understand your personality, you have to ask yourself questions like, what is my communication style? What are my gifts? You know, what are my skills? You know, what, even love language, you know, and that will help you know how, like, if you know your communication style, it will help you know how you can communicate to other people, you know, and accept yourself
for who you are, for who you are.
Because sometimes our communication are very different. Maybe I was brought up in a home where we shout. And it is very okay for us to shout. And Gabriel here was brought up in a place where they just talk politely. So once we come together, maybe as friends, it will be difficult for us to understand each other. But once I know that this is my personality, my communication style is different, I can know how I can relate to.
You can accommodate me, and I can also accommodate you.
Exactly. So the other thing that I had written is knowing or identifying or understanding your upbringing.
Wow, this is a big one.
Because it's really
how we are now depends largely on how we were brought up. You can deny it or accept it, but your upbringing defines a lot about how you behave in the future. And it takes a lot of effort to change some of those foundations that you are given from your childhood, because it forms the basic beliefs that you have. And therefore it is good to look at what kind of environment you are brought up, what kind of associations you are brought up, what kind of communication was taught to you, what kind of people did you surround, and then you can be able to tell, why am I this way, and who am I? What has this kind of upbringing made of me? All right? Because some of us, we are good people, but the kind of upbringing we have had has made us to look like we are not good people.
We are bad people.
All right. One of my friends comes from the ghetto, and he's really a nice person, a very good guy when you sit close to him. But when you sit at distance from him, he looks very rude. Very arrogant, very careless. He carries this this ghetto character, and you can read it, but when you come very close to him, you realize this is such a nice person.
Exactly.
So, and therefore you need to evaluate your upbringing. and see what it has made
you to be. Exactly. And that's why I always differ with this word in Swahili where they say mtoto wa nyoka ni nyoka. I really believe that is not true, because even if I'm a good person and I give birth to a kid and that kid is raised in a very different place from where I am.
Environment, yes.
When we meet, we'll be two different people because of their upbringing, you know. So for you to understand your identity, first of all, know how was I raised, because how you are raised really tells about the way you behave, your attitude. You know, some people were raised in a very place, a very bad place where people have bad attitudes toward life. So you grow up having that bad attitude towards people, like anything that comes across you, it's bad energy,
it's negative.
It also helps you to understand what are my behaviors, you know, like the story that you said about your friend, like when you sit from a distance, you can see like there's a bad behavior, you know,
rudeness, carelessness,
until they open up to you and you identify, oh, this is a good person,
you understand.
But because of the upbringing, it looks so bad on the outside, but you won't see until you sit down and identify, this is how I was brought up. And also looking people who are close to you, your family members, how are they behaving? You know, there's a way you can look at a family and just say, that family is a family of drunkards, that family is a family of thieves, that family is a family of maybe bright people, you know. Academics. So so just look at people who are around you, see how they behave, see how they approach life, look at their attitude. Like 90%, that is how you behave. It defines you. It defines you, and that will be a very good start for you to know your identity and find out how you can change that.
You can change that. I'd also like to maybe mention about environment. And in environment, I'm trying to talk about your area of dominance. You see, most of us thrive in different atmospheres.
Exactly.
All right? There are people who thrive very well in the industry of academia. They are so good in academics. They flourish. They do so well.
Exactly.
Others of us, they are so good in the environment of sports. And whenever they are in that area, they're just doing so well. And you need to look at yourself and understand, where do I thrive?
Where do I fit in?
It's not fitting. Where do I thrive? Because you can fit. A piece of onion can fit in a piece of orange, but it doesn't make it an orange, all right? So you don't just want to fit, you want to see, where do I thrive as a person? Because largely that is by which area you are defined. You see, the lion reigns in the jungle, the shark reigns in the sea. Where do you reign? The eagle reigns in the sky. You need to also find yourself and understand, this is where I'm best at. This is part of your identity.
Exactly.
All right?
That will help you in finding yourself.
In finding yourself and who you are. It also help you in finding your potential. Because when you are in the area where you thrive, your potential comes up. All right? The potential is able to manifest itself. So it is important also to know the area where you thrive.
Like you brought it, and it makes so much sense, you know. Because once you know where you thrive, it will be easier for you to put more time in that area. In that environment with the people who are the same like you.
When you invest your time, you find yourself around creative people.
So that makes a lot of sense, you know. So I think I want us to talk about things that you might want to do or to put more of your time that will help you figure out what is your identity.
Okay. Personally, I would maybe share one, because it's a tool that I have found myself using very much. I like meditating. And I meditate. And I look around everything. I look around everything. And once I start looking around everything, there are things that only connect when I'm meditating. So one of the keys I tell someone to, if you just want to find out who you are, if you take a moment and meditate, you'll see that which you are not and that which you are. You are able to isolate, to divide the thoughts and the activities. You see, this habit of us being continuously doing something, you never break from the routines.
The cycle
blinds you from seeing yourself for who you are. But if you can step out of the cycle, you can be able to evaluate you very well.
Yeah, and I really agree with that. For me, I like meditating on the Word of God. I feel like I really hide in the Word of God so much because it gives me that peace that I need, you know, because I feel like for me, when I meditate my own stuff, whatever is going on in my life, I get a lot of anxiety. So most of the time I do like meditating the Word of God. So I want whatever God has said to manifest in my life.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you're good at meditating whatever is going on in your life, then do it.
It's okay. It's a method.
Like we say, find your strength.
Find your strength.
Find your area.
Find your area.
Yeah, so for me personally, I like meditating on the Word of God because I believe if I really want to be a person of so much faith, then I'll just meditate on the Word of God that talks about faith. Right?
The other part maybe I could just add on meditation is reflection.
Yeah, reflection.
Yeah. If you build a habit of reflecting, it helps you identify who you are and who you are not. If you look at your 1 year, let's say take a year from now, what have I done? What have I succeeded in? What have I failed at? What has made me feel very good? What has bored me to my last breath? So if I put those things side by side, I'll notice what it is that works and what it is that doesn't work for me.
True.
Also, like reflecting on some of your strengths and your weaknesses. You can look at some of the activities you've done and they've given you a lot of satisfaction, fulfillment. So you can note those ones down. Also, you can look at some of the things you did and you are this is not good.
So that you won't repeat the same mistake.
So that you can be able to see which area
where
am I lying? Which area am I not?
Am I not? True. I really agree with that. The other thing can also be journaling. And for me, I am a person who will journal like everything. And I believe, for me, I really believe in writing because even God used his prophet to write the Bible. And I believe like most of the time, even if I don't pray about something, but once I write them down, most of them does occur.
Yes.
So I like journaling what I think, and it also gives me time to appreciate whatever I've done, even if it didn't succeed, you know, and also just helps me in reflecting, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, if you can sit down and think and reflect about your life, then that's okay.
Yes.
But for me, or people like me who, until we journal for us to reflect, then you can also do that.
Yes.
As long as you are doing something with your life. So journaling for me has really helped. Yeah, in identifying who I am and also identifying who I'm not.
Who you are not,
Yeah, and if I have goals, I write them down for me to remember. You know, and for me to remember also just things that I want to speak into my life, I write them down for me to remind myself, this is who I am, this is who I'm not, you know, and it gives me a lot of time to reflect.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's such a key to the other part maybe I could talk about is try and expose yourself.
Exactly.
Expose yourself. You will never know you are a shark until you meet the sea.
Exactly.
You'll never know you are a lion until you are in the jungle. So sometimes you just have to try the jungle, the sea, the mountains, the trees. Maybe you are a monkey and you have to go up the tree and to notice how fast you are with the trees. Sometimes you have to try the sky. So it is good to expose yourself here and there, so that you can also experiment and learn at least where you fit in best.
And also exposing yourself really helps you in, you know, volunteering. When you expose yourself, most of the time you volunteer a lot of things.
Yes.
And that is also serving. So when you volunteer, you get to know what you like. You know, when you do something without being paid and you feel so much fulfillment, then you know, this is my passion. This is
part of me.
This is my passion. And it can really drive you to finding your purpose. So exposure will help you in experimenting different things. So take yourself out there.
Take yourself out there.
Find what you like. Find what you
try many
like.
things. Yeah.
Yeah. Just find when you don't like something, it's okay. Just go to another thing. That will make you understand your passion.
Yes.
And what you like doing and what gives you fulfillment.
Yeah. Talking of passion, maybe I could just comment. There are two kinds of passion. We usually have a positive passion.
Yeah.
And we have a negative passion. All right.
Okay.
There's something you can see that pulls the desires in you to make a positive change.
Yeah.
All right. For example, you can see a street child and compassion drives you to help them. All right. So this could be a positive passion.
Yeah.
But there are also other kinds of passion, maybe where you see someone's rights have been taken away and it makes you super angry.
Yeah.
All right. So this is part of passion, and this is part of your identity. If you realize the occurrence of something makes you either passionately excited or passionately angry, it defines you one way or the other. All right. And it's part of who you are. It says that for Mother Teresa, her compassion defined her, because all her work in life was about compassion. All right. So there are other people who, like Wangari Maathai, the Kenyan lady who did a lot of forestry work. This was an anger against destruction of nature.
Trees,
all right,
the forest.
This kind of passion is what defined her.
Yeah.
All right. So you can also look at your passion.
What makes you happy or what makes you angry?
Yeah. And this is not about interest.
Yeah.
Passion doesn't end with one day.
Yeah.
Passion is what has been haunting you for years.
Even if you're not paid, you still have the passion for it.
Yeah.
You can even do it for free. Like Mother Teresa, she was not even paid.
Nobody ever paid her, but she did it all her life.
She was not paid. She was just recognized. But this
actually
is what
they lost. Doing that, but they still did it because it was part of who they were. So you can also check which passions you have. They will directly define you.
That's a bomb. It's a bomb right there. Okay, something else that I can add, and I think I'll finish on that, is reading books, because I think that reading books helps you to know a lot of things, and it can really help you in identifying things that you didn't know that were in you. You know, when you read books, when you hear about people's stories and what they did to succeed, what they did that they made them fail, it really spikes something in you, or even realizing this is what I'm doing wrong.
Yes.
You know, and reading books like the ones that will help you identify yourself, like the self-growth books. Self-development. It will help you identify your identity, because most of the books really take you through how you're going to do that. And that's why we have also a book like this called In Pursuit of Growth, where you can read
self-development book.
It gives you the tips and the hacks of finding yourself and knowing yourself better.
Yes, absolutely. Just to add on a book, personally how I rate books is how much the book has drawn out from me.
Exactly.
It's not how much I have taken from the book. It is how much the book exposes of me. And there are books you read and they are stirring you up because there's so much that had been hidden. But when you read the words in the book, those things come alive. All right. So it is one of the best keys to help you identify yourself, because you realize that there are certain books that interest you, there are others that don't. There are certain books that provoke you into actions, others just stories. So part of the things you read and you like reading also help in identifying
and I can just give an example. For example, for me, back then I didn't know what I wanted until I read the book called Intentionality. That's what really drove everything in me, and that's what made me start identifying who I was. So I really believe that books really help somebody to identify themselves.
They are a good hack.
It's like you'll never go wrong and you'll never regret reading a book. And sometimes it's okay when you read a book, like for example, I touch this book and I read it, I don't feel like I'm getting something. It's okay, because maybe that's not the season. Because these books helps us in different
times.
For example, for me, that time I read that and it was time for it. And then I got another book, I started reading it, but I felt like no. Until like last month is when I read that book that I tried reading 2 years ago, is when I felt felt like now this is the right time. You know, so it's just the books are like your guardians, you know, and they
provide
you
keys
only feel whatever that
doors.
person is saying when it is the season for that thing. You know, so when you want to find yourself, just find yourself books that are talking about your identity, personal growth, you know, just knowing about you.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have something else to add?
Well, I think that is enough for today. I just want to say thank you very much for watching and for listening. Remember to subscribe, remember to watch, remember to share, and remember to drop those comments.
Yeah, exactly. And we really appreciate, kindly guys, just leave your comments down below. Let us know what you think about this conversation. Do you have anything that you want us to add? You know, what you want us to talk about
next?
Yeah, and also do share to other people, because there's some people who really need this, but they have not gotten the chance to meet us or to see this video. So just kindly share and let them know or see whatever we are doing.
Yes.
So I think we are done at that point. Until next time.
From us, adios. Bye.